Well, what's going on, guys? Dallas aka Inferness here, and welcome back to another episode of the Thetekkitrealm. And today, based off the title, it's quite self-explanatory. I'm a simple person, and that means that when I see YouTube subscribers, I generally think that they're a person behind a screen watching a video, like you, for example. But that wouldn't entirely be the case if you happen to be subscribed to this YouTube channel here, because if you are, well, unfortunately, I hate to break it to you, but you are actually not real. Meanwhile, also, as a simple person, when I see $5 million, I see myself sitting on top of a cruise ship or a humongous mega yacht, smoking a cigar lit by my $100 bills that I have on my side, while watching reruns of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But if you're this YouTube channel, to fake your way to almost a red diamond play button in YouTube. Now, before we get too invested into this whole thing and get our pants into a twist, I just like to say that if you are brand new to this YouTube channel, i.e. if the button about 2 inches below the screen is red, I'd be happy if you would very politely murder it. You'll get yourself a fresh 10 years of good luck. So I'll be the first to say that this YouTube channel has been talked about by probably a couple of people. It was a brief topic of discussion, and it got its 15 minutes of fame, for sure. So everyone, being the investigative journalists that they are, chalked off the whole entire situation as just being a little bit of a glitch. They ripped down the investigation tape and called it a day because apparently the mystery was solved. Until Chief Investigator me stepped onto the scene, and then, well, this is where things are about to get more carried away. So yes, this all started with this YouTube channel all of a sudden pretty much gaining 13 million subscribers within only 3 days of time, and then only about a week later, losing all of them, going back to normal, which is definitely not normal. I personally didn't think anything of it, until one day, I decided to actually use this brand new URL reverse lookup system, which is not a sponsor to this video, by the way. It would be a very boring sponsorship after all, seeing as the only reason I purchased it was just to see how many visitors my website was getting, and not to track down an immense $5 million foreign transaction taking place overseas regarding YouTube. It turns out that I had the idea of taking this YouTube channel's URL and pasting it into this simple reverse domain lookup system. This is a very normal system which you can use for any URL, so basically at any time in this URL's history that it's been publicly visible on the entire internet, no matter what it is, it has to show all of the domains that are connected to it. Now, what usually happens when you search up a normal domain on the internet, you'll find a bunch of backlink domains, which is generally used by the owner of that specific website to redirect people to their website if they make a spelling error in the domain, and just all kinds of other stuff like that. The first thing that showed up upon entering this YouTube channel, Choo Choo Nursery Rhymes, into this system was a whole bunch of gibberish URLs. Now that's already not a good sign. And I was specifically able to know that because I've actually used this type of method to determine someone was buying subscribers a while ago on a Russian YouTube channel who hacked their way to 1 billion views on a single video. Because let's be real, you leave a digital footprint on the entire internet no matter what you do and whether you realize it or not. Okay, so here's a little tidbit as well. I did a community post for members only asking people what their opinions were of this situation. Remarkably, 580 people voted, and a whole lot of people in the reply section, as what I found was the most popular theory was that this channel actually somehow managed to combine the total subscribers of their other channels, forming this all of a sudden plus 13 million subscribers. Now, to me, when I first heard that theory, I thought that was pretty far-fetched, because first of all, I mean, no other YouTube channel that I've ever seen has ever done that, and secondly, I couldn't personally disprove it. So I literally directly contacted someone who I knew could give us the most accurate information. An actual YouTube/Google product expert. Some of you who have been around on this channel might actually recognize them. Phil has graced us with his presence multiple times in the past with this channel. He's answered our questions, and he's actually revealed a whole lot more information that I would imagine any normal YouTube employee would be willing to do so, especially for it to be seen by the type of audience that we have here on this channel. So basically, the ultimate final reply that he had for my question on whether this was a realistic theory was this. I'm obviously not allowed to discuss the analytics of other channels or creators, but I can at least confirm, as far as I'm aware, it's not possible for a channel to switch subscriber counts or combine them into one channel. We did one single merge process, only involving old Vivo certified channels back in 2018. We periodically do fold-over sweeps for videos by artist channels, sometimes resulting in large jumps in a single day, but that would only reflect in channel view counts. I do not know what happened with that specific channel on those dates, unfortunately. Okay, so you heard it here first. This is literally a Google product expert, so obviously he's pretty involved into YouTube's activities when it comes to this. Well, that pretty much blows that entire thing out of the water. I mean, does that completely confirm that they are buying subscribers? Obviously not, but it does, I guess, pretty much systematically disprove that theory, unfortunately. Things just aren't adding up with this channel, and it's very, very sketchy. Now, the fun part, and this is where the show really begins, is when we take one of these URLs, enter them into a more advanced URL analytics program, which I also have, in which it will show all of the public and private information about this specific URL. For this URL, which is once again connected to the original channel in question here, the most important statistic that stood out was the amount of display advertising, impressions, on the very right hand side. 6,000 on just this one URL, considering this was just one out of, as was seen to be, over 99 different disposable URLs. That's instantly pointing out the fact that there's a whole lot of external impressions being advertised or redirected to this YouTube channel. And luckily, because of course, as I said earlier, everything needs to be documented somewhere on the internet, it was able to list the one publisher of this specific URL, which led to this very questionable website here. Now, this website, premlike.com, which is clearly a very foreign website, if you were to translate the page, turns out that it's actually written in Hindi language, and on this main splash page, we can see that it's actually just a foreign version of a traditional botting website for YouTube. You can purchase subscribers, you can purchase views, and apparently you can even purchase something you don't like, which obviously is just a poorly translated version of dislikes. Now we're gonna look at the prices of subscribers here on this website for a second, because it's gonna come in handy really soon. We can see that their most popular or their most expensive package, which is 10,000 subscribers, is 14.99 euros, which translates to $1,700. Now let's head back to the original URL analytics site that I got this information from. We can download all of the external URLs or backlinks used by this website, and we can see the exact date that they were being used and the exact date that they stopped being used, because on the original page we can see it automatically just goes to February of 2021 and nothing shows up, because clearly whatever this URL was used for is no longer being used. But if we go back to January, we can see the amount of impressions that it originally got. The amount of visits is 11.5 million, unique visitors being 6 million. Total pages visited is 4.19, whatever that's supposed to mean. And the average visit duration is 13 seconds, seemingly like the just perfect amount of time to subscribe to a YouTube channel and exit the page. If we download the PDF of all the uses of these URLs, we can see that in this, we effectively have a full list of every single instance this URL was used. And if we can just assume that the URLs are used every time someone purchases something or one package off this website, and this one URL was used 3,349 times from the dates of January 1st to January 3rd, they purchased it over 3,000 times, which equates to 5.6 million US dollars purchased within only 3 days off of this website. Now obviously it doesn't tell us what they purchased or what the specific URL was purchased for. It's quite clear that considering the obvious nature of this website and what happened with this YouTube's channel's subscriber growth in the middle of January, that these people purchased 13 million subscribers by the means of buying 3,000 packages off of a botting website in 3 straight days. And clearly it worked out too, because, well, they received 13.8 million subscribers in 2 days. As you can see, the thing that kind of differentiates this from just being a simple little glitch is the fact that this didn't just all of a sudden pop into their channel within like a single second. This was not a glitch. YouTube glitches don't just happen over 3 days of time. But the funniest part about this whole thing is they freaking lost all of their... Okay, so here's what happens. YouTube has a... Look, YouTube's not stupid. They know if your subs are fake, so they'll just remove all your fake subscribers. They count them as spam subscribers, and these people paid $5 million to have a boost up to about 58 million subs in total. I guess because they felt like they wanted to get closer to 100 million, as if they don't already have enough subs on their weird Indian child channel anyways. And then YouTube just snapped their fingers and just said, nah, that's not happening. And they lost all of what they paid for, unless they somehow got a refund. And listen, I'm not about to throw any shade, but of course it just happens to be India. Like, I mean, come on, really, what were we expecting? So that clearly didn't work out too well for them. Am I 100% sure that this is what they did? To be honest with you, I can't fully confirm it, but I mean, it's about 99.9999% likely, because you can't just have all those URLs just happening to come from this one YouTube channel leading to this one botting website. So yeah, they bought $5 million worth of fake subscribers. Okay, and you know what? Nowadays, I'm not even surprised. Is that bad considering YouTube's current state? No, I'm really not even that surprised about this. That's pretty much everything that I've discovered in this video. Hopefully, you can walk away feeling even more hopeless about the future of this website considering things like this happen. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.